Welcome back to Good Day. In about 2 weeks, many kids in the area are going to be headed back to school, believe it or not. And while it seems early, now is the time to get them prepared and get yourself prepared as well. Psychologist Andrea Mata joins us with some ideas on how we can do that. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, we were just chatting a little bit. Bedtime has been a thing that we've got to work on in our house. Our daughter's been staying up a little bit later. We've got to start working on inching that back.
Yeah.
And you really do need to start those types of things early.
Yeah. Because I think I usually say it takes about 1 to 2 weeks in order for sleep routines to start being established. So if they have to start waking up at like 7 o'clock, 7:15, and you want them to be having 9 hours of sleep, well, now you have to be getting them into bedtime where it was like baseball games and softball games and volleyball and soccer and all of the things were taking so much time and you're getting home super late during the summer. And now you have to be like, okay, we have to get back to bed.
Yeah, so be thinking about that, parents. Maybe even if it's like, 15 minutes a night or something?
Just keep pushing it up to what time you want them to be going to sleep.
Right. So the other thing is there are a lot of conversations in my house too right now about I wonder who's going to be in my class. I wonder what teacher I'm going to get. Mom, like, can you find out this, and that? And I'm like, no, we're going to find out when everybody finds out, and that it's coming up. But I feel like there are a lot of expectations, and sometimes things don't work out the way our kids want them to work out. But that's okay, right?
That is absolutely okay. One of my favorite phrases is prepare your child for the road, not the road for the child.
Oh, wow.
And so it's like, a lot of the time, like right now, parents have this expectation that like all of the environments that their children are in are going to like mend and bend to like their child's will. And that's just not how life is. And so we have to prepare our children to be able to succeed in any environment that they go into. And so I remember I had a friend recently who was like, hey, I had like the school emailed all the parents at the school and was like, stop emailing us teacher requests. We're not honoring anyone's teacher's requests. We've gotten so many of them. We're tired of receiving, they didn't say that, but we're tired of receiving them, so we're not honoring them. Your children are just gonna have to adapt with whatever teacher they have and whatever classroom that they are in. Now, there are extenuating circumstances. If your child has special needs, then absolutely advocate for them, but don't automatically assume your child is a special needs case.
Right, yeah, because, my kid's special or this or that. But we also have to understand that the teachers and those people in charge know what they're doing, right? And they know your kid. And I know my daughter's going into 3rd grade at this point. Her teacher that she just had, that she knows how she learns well, or maybe this teacher is not going to mesh as well, or whatever. So these kids need to not be in the same class again.
That's the first conversation they are having in that room. They're like, which kids are we not putting in the same class? I remember my youngest's, her best friend, her 2 best friends. They're both boys, and it turns out that they were best friends, and they put them together in kindergarten, and then they're like, never again. And they separated them in 1st grade. Just they got to adapt.
They have to adapt. They'll be okay.
They will be okay. Everything will be okay. And this thing is, and if things are terrible, and the word toxic gets used a whole lot, but if it is a toxic environment, well then that's when you go and advocate for your child and talk with the principal, and first talk with the teacher, then talk with the principal if you don't get kind of the results that you're hoping for, or what's in the best interest of your child. Yeah,
you may find out that, hey, this is for the better. This is actually a really good thing. So we talked a little bit about bedtimes and sleeps, but morning routine is another one. We want to make sure that we're getting up, we're able to get out of bed in the morning. I know my daughter, she liked to do her reading homework before she went to school. So start working on those morning routines now.
One of the biggest issues that I have as a clinical child psychologist is that morning routine, because it's so hectic and everything is rushed and everything is just hurried. And it's not a good situation for parents or kids. And so one of the biggest things that I always tell parents is create a routine, set expectations for what you want your child to do. You want them to eat breakfast, you want them to brush their teeth, brush their hair, get dressed, get their backpack ready, all of the things. And then give them a certain amount of time that they have to do that in. So give them, hey, you have 30 minutes to do all of these things. Once you're done with all of these things and you do them at a level of expectation, you're not like half, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm doing. I follow you. Yeah.
Then you get to do whatever you want with the time that you have left.
Okay.
So if it takes you 20 minutes to do all of your things as expected, then you still have 10 minutes to read, you have 10 minutes to watch TV, all of those things. And then it encourages, it reinforces the child, it rewards them to get the expectations met, and then they get to do what they want to do.
Yeah, my daughter would do really well with that. I feel like just get all the stuff done.
Yeah.
And then you got your time.
And you don't have to give them like reminders and reminders and reminders,
Yes.
and it's exhausting.
And then you're yelling, and then then
they're
you're
crying,
right?
and then
you're getting dragged out of the house and into school, and everybody's all grumpy, and it's not a great start.
It's starting you off on a bad
Yeah.
mood. It's putting them in a bad day, and so it's just like let's get rid of all of that.
And what if though they just won't do it? What if you're like, come on, I need you to, like you said, brush your teeth, do this, get dressed, blah blah blah, and they're not getting it done in maybe that time.
Yeah. So I think one thing you consider is like, is it too much for them? Is it too much within that? Do they need some additional supports? Do they need extra time? And I mean, or are they just like refusing to do it, and they're like, or maybe they're, quickly doing it, not to the level that you want them to. And then they're like, oh, I have all this, free time. And then you're like, okay, it's time to get your backpack and your shoes on to get to school. And then they're like still doing whatever it is that they want to do. Well, then you want to implement a logical consequence of like however long. Maybe they go 5 minutes over what their allotted time is. Well, then you're going to take 5 minutes away the next day.
There you go. It's like a discipline or something, right?
Exactly.
Discipline. Okay, so then once school gets back into session and you want to immediately be like, how was your day? Who are your friends? How do you get your kids to talk to you about how things are going?
I think the one thing is it's like we kind of bombarding them all of the time, and a lot of the time they're like pushing you away, and so it's like change the environment. So go for walks or play catch, because then it's like they're not focusing necessarily on just this, but they're focusing in on their walking, and they're not having to make eye contact. They're also able to, or playing catch, so they're focusing in on something else. I think that's one great way to kind of have conversation starters. What else did I say? Let's see. Ask them to teach you what they learned today.
Oh.
So that's something that I've been doing with some of my clients. Like I'll teach them like what I want, like the skills that I want, and then we bring their parents in, and then they teach their parents the skills.
Ooh.
And so have them teach you in a fun way.
Sure.
They get to be the teacher. They get to be have the power. Yeah. Have them teach you. And then the last one is one of my favorite ones, and there's actually research to support that asking this one question at bedtime reduces anxiety across the lifespan.
Oh.
I know. And so you ask them, what's the last good thing that happened today?
Okay. I'm circling this, putting a star, hanging this in my house, because sometimes we do have anxiety in our house and about how things are going to go the next day. It leaves it on a positive, good note.
And so and they fall asleep on that positive. Good note.
Beautiful. All right, you have your practice at Bright Spot Families.
Bright Spot Families down in Bowling Green.
Yeah, so people can give you a call if they're, hey, we need a little extra guidance.
Yeah, because we do the whole family. So we do the kids, we do the parents, individuals, couples, families. Yeah.
Whatever you need.
Whatever you need for your family.
Beautiful. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah.
Thanks.